I'm on your ass. Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome y'all to another episode of the Pros and Con podcast with my man B Young Blood.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Shout out to our other two co-anchors, Keelan Bilal and Darnell Walker. They out chasing the bag right now.
Yeah, Darnell said he got work to do.
Yeah, he said he had work to do, man. You know, it's cool. I got him. He old, man, so he can't do too many things at one time, man. You know, he just had that birthday, man. He's still trying to,
still recovering.
Yeah, he's still recovering.
I heard about your episodes. It's kind of crazy. I'm in that group text message.
Right.
But I don't say much. I'm like a young cat, so I don't never really partake. I just watch and read. So these guys are hilarious,
Dudes are hilarious, man.
Y'all clown all day. Sammy always want to go kick it.
Hey, baby.
He always called the plans out. Who trying to go? Every time. So
I'm trying. You hear me? I'm trying to live.
Some fun and enjoy
I'm trying, man. What?
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
For real. But so shout out to them. But today, the episode today is called Melanin Magic, and it's gonna be comprised of a couple different things, right? Mm-hmm. Because even though she got a lot going on, and I'm proud of her, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna definitely delve into that. You know, I work with this young lady, right? Okay. And she has a very lively spirit, to say the less, right? And so we be having these conversations.
Is that a little sarcasm out here?
Just a little bit. And so, you know, we be having these conversations about relationships and black men and black women and how we interact with each other, right? And I say, you know what? We're going to put this on the podcast.
Okay.
We're going to put this on the podcast. And I'm going to be really interested in what the people have to say about this conversation.
It always gets sticky when you start talking men and women. It always does, because we're so different. You know what I mean? The way we think and the way they think, completely different.
But see, I'm going to tell you something. I'm so glad you're here, right? Because you know me, man. I tend to get myself in trouble. So you can kind of help me.
In trouble for you.
No, I'm expecting you to help.
Listen, I just got married a little bit ago. I'm trying to keep my home a happy one. So, I go there for the fellas today, though. I challenge.
You know what I'm saying?
I will challenge because it's necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's necessary.
Absolutely. So, you know, with that being said, we're going to introduce our guest, Carshara Bradley, but, you know, everybody call her Kiki. Okay. Kiki, are you with me? and, you know, tell people a little bit about yourself and who don't know, because you're more popular than I am, so tell the people about yourself.
Hey, y'all know I go by Kiki, but, you know, you went to school with me, you know me by Carshara.
Where you from? What school you go to?
I went to Wilson.
Southside, though.
You went to Wilson? You was that bad? You went to Wilson?
That wasn't a bad school.
No, it was too soft for you.
Oh. I made it through.
So this is what goes on at work.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm from the south side of Youngstown. What?
Don't get shy. Come on now.
I am camera shy.
I was about to say, you got a lot to actually talk about. So
I got a lot. Yeah, if y'all know my sister Brittany. You know, we got a lot going on with our nonprofit. We have a nonprofit called Walking in My Truth.
All right.
Walking in My Truth. We had started this. If you following my sister, she moved to Costa Rica last year. Spiritual move, just up and left, and you know, I had to step up and run the business, and not from behind the scenes no more. So it was a lot, but you know, it was something that me and my sister sacrificed together. You know, because we was always raised like that, to just be as one. Mm-hmm. So you know, me being 4 years older than her, I had got incarcerated a couple years back. Well, a few years back, 7 years ago, and
So let me stop you right there, right? Because I actually wasn't even thinking about that aspect to who you is, but I think I want to touch on that so that people can really have an appreciation for where you are now.
Oh, okay.
Right? You feel me?
Absolutely.
Because now
that's my story.
Because that's your story,
right.
And it's amazing.
Her truth.
That's her truth. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I don't want to gloss over that, although it wasn't in my mind because of the context of the conversation we was initially going to be having. But I want you to, touch on that, touch a little bit, growing up, your background, how you wound up in prison, and then we can go from there.
Okay. I was raised by my grandmother, me and Brittany. We were raised by my grandmother. My mom was, in an addiction, so my grandmother took custody of me and my sister. And my grandmother, she tried her best. She did what she could. She raised us with morals and standards, and she was just a strong woman. So, me and Brittany, anything that come our way, we really, we take it heads on because of that lady. My grandmother was just epiphany of strength. You know what I mean? So, we got dealt some crazy cards. You know what I mean? We didn't know where we was gonna end up, but the way she stayed on me by just I have to have that bond with my sister. Your sisters, you know what I mean? I didn't understand it, but growing up and we get a lot of compliments. They, oh my God, I would love to have a sister or have the bond that we have, and it's amazing because I do, I know sisters that don't have, bonds or have a relationship with each other. So what me and Brittany share is amazing. You know what I mean? Because we really are two hearts, one beat. We stand on that. You know what I mean? But growing up, my grandmother, not a mom or a dad. You know what I mean? It was hard. A lot of unanswered questions. So it turned into a lot of anger, a lot of envy, a lot of resentment against my mom and my dad. So I was just growing up trying to figure it out, find my way. But most of all, now that I'm older, I was just searching for love. I was really just looking for real unconditional love that you're supposed to receive from parents.
That's true.
So as being a mom now, I understand it and why I was making the mistakes and went down that road with men and just doing the things that I was doing. Right. And it's clear now, you know what I mean? And, even though, we figuring it out, me and my sister, we figuring it out, but we had love amongst each other. Right. So I think that's what kept us going. And, we just wanted to be the voice literally from our family. We have a very, very spiritual family, that's in the church and everything. But, they're Christians. We don't consider, we grew up as Christians, but, we just open to anything that got to do with a higher power, you know what I mean? So we just consider ourselves spiritual. I'm with you. Very spiritual, So,
I agree.
And my sister, she was involved with a guy, and he had got killed to gun violence, and I went to prison. So going down the wrong road, being in the streets, you know what I mean? I turned to the streets. I didn't have to, but I didn't like to see my grandmother I wanted to just help her out. Right. Try to just get my own, you know what I mean? So I started doing a lot of things that I didn't have no business doing. Turned into the streets, selling drugs and, just being out there, carrying guns and doing a lot of stuff I ain't had no business, but I was also gaining a lot of respect too. You know what I mean? Because I was that different girl. I wasn't that girl that was just wanting to be out there. Then I had a baby at 19, so it was like, before I just set my standards to just depend on anybody, my grandma didn't raise me like that. Right. So I did what I had to do to take care of my son. That he'd never have to want for nothing or the struggles that I had to go through. Right. Was it always the right thing? No, but
let me ask you this, because you touched on it a little bit, like you talked about like a resentment and an envy, towards your mom, right? How important of a role do you think a mom? I'll say that. Yeah. How important of a role does a mom play in the life of their children? And then I want you to kind of talk about the dad's role in that too, and maybe that can segue us into our conversation. You know what I'm saying about men and women. But I'm just curious to know. Let me put it in one question: Can a mom be enough for a child and raising a child without a father being around?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I believe.
Well, let's get started. I knew it would. I knew it would get it going. Go ahead.
Can you break that down? Meaning that. Is the child want to be Is the child going to be okay, or? I'm
just looking at. Let's just get right to the conversation.
I feel like a woman can raise a man. A woman can raise a man. I'm a mother of a son, but I can't never teach him. There's certain things that a man, I feel, needs to teach a young boy.
I got you.
So, but I have seen a lot of, guys who grow up with just their mom, and they're great men, but I know that they long for that father, that bond with their father.
What about when it's a girl, a daughter? Is it
Now,
the
why
same
does
for a woman? Like, so if a young lady's just raised by her father, is she still gonna be missing a certain component without her mom? Is it any difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just believe.
So why
that
is it
every
different, though?
I just feel like a child just need both of their parents.
Okay, then say that.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I just, especially me growing up without neither one. So, you know, the love that you yearn for from just that mother, that motherly love. Like, I'm a natural nurturer, and I just believe that I am because I didn't have it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just come so natural for me to give it. But I wanted it. I'm 38, and I still yearn for that love.
Right, from your
that,
mother.
That love that I need from both of them.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, so let me push back just a little bit, right? Because I understand that, but I feel like you don't need the love of your mother or father to be a good person. You need good male and female in your life to be a good person. Now, yearning for, desiring, and wanting the love of your mother and your father is different than needing it, right? Because we see countless people all the time who are good people who didn't have that. To your point, would they want it? Yes.
Right.
But in spite of having it, because they had good people in their life to be examples for them, they wind up making good decisions and turning out to be good people.
I think you. It's a void though. Like,
It definitely
I think it's the biggest thing I think is identity. Like, I don't think you can have a true identity of who you are without knowing your mother and your father. Like, there's things about me that I couldn't possibly understand if I didn't have that conversation with my dad. Now I'm getting to learning my grandfather. So now it's like, oh, now I really understand why I act this way, now why my dad acts like this, you know what I mean? So it kind of brings it full circle for you, so you get that understanding of you. Without that, you'll never have it.
That's true.
So it's the things you won't even understand about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Your father is there, as a man, I'm saying. My father is there to provide an identity and provide understanding. I can't get that understanding or identity from anyone else in the world except for from my dad, because it's him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a piece and I'm a part of who he is and the decisions that he makes.
So you saying so when you say identity, meaning like you can get manhood from good men, role models, whatever, but the intricacies of who Bryant is, his DNA, you can only get from your father.
There's some things I just wouldn't understand without clarity from him.
I kind of go
I
with
think
that.
it probably goes the same way for a female and a mom, and a female and her dad, like all of it. I think.
But let me say this, and let me ask this, because I'm always trying to be conscious of, what we do. Are you saying though that will stop you from having a successful life or a meaningful life?
No, you'll be successful.
Okay.
You can be extremely successful. You can be wealthy, but that still doesn't. That still leaves that void, that incomplete.
Right.
You're not whole.
And I agree with that. I just don't want a little homie trying to say, man, see, I don't know my dad, so.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm messed up like this, so it is what it is.
No, I'm with you.
So that's why I say that.
Yeah, it's a choice still. You know what I mean? It's still a choice on no matter where you come from. You got people, children that grow up in foster homes. They grow up and they realize that these are not my real parents. You know what I mean? They still go off to be successful, but they still watching the Lifetime movies, and that they want to go find.
I don't watch Lifetime. They just be bashing brothers on Lifetime.
That is not what all Lifetime is about. It be all type of.
Watch Lifetime, Jack. You scared to go out the house as a man, like, I got to sleep with one eye open. You know what I'm saying? Check my gas tank before I pull off. Lifetime. I don't know, but go ahead. All right, so look.
Yeah, you just in life, period. That, with foster care, I say.
Yeah.
They, unless their parents is just there's no contact, but they're going to go somewhere to search for their biological family. I really truly believe that, like he said, it's just something is just missing. You know what I mean? It's just like, where did I come from? And I can relate to that just by growing up as a little girl. Just them days where my mom, she relocated. You know what I mean? And moved out to another state. So those days, you just, where's she at? You know what I mean? Or, and I eventually we had siblings that were born up there. and I went to find them. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, we got other siblings, my mom's kids, so it was a part of me that I felt like I couldn't continue my life without meeting them at least one time if it wasn't ever going to go any further. You know?
So let me ask you this, because I'm thinking about my personal life, right? Do you think that's always that yearning, or is that a phase? And I ask that because I had that, right? Not knowing my father. I remember being in the joint. I wrote a poem called "Where's Daddy," and it talked about waiting on the porch for him to show up, and he didn't show up. Waiting for him to come to a football game, and he didn't come to the football game. You know, all of these different milestones that he didn't show up for. But then at the end of the poem, I'm waiting on him, and he don't show up, and it don't affect me no more. I'm like, hey, wherever he at, it is what it is, and I go on with it. And I've learned to deal with it. Now, the sad part is, like recently, I just found out he had some type of health thing going on, right? And it was almost like they was talking to me about somebody.
A stranger.
You know what I'm saying? I don't wish him no ill will or anything like that. And I've tried in moments to try to have that relationship, but then it's like, yeah, I'm living my life now. I catch up with him. So do you think that that's a lifetime thing overall in general, even if not my situation, overall in general, or is that just sometimes it's a phase that a person goes through where they need that, or do it just depend on the individual?
I would say the individual. Because I can only speak from experience. You know, I feel like for years I just put a Band-Aid on it. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, because one, you have to really just accept, forgive. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, they're still your parents. You know what I mean? Then you get understanding. You know, if the parents are willing to give you that. You know what I mean? I've grown that with my father. I haven't with my mom yet, though. But I do still keep hope alive. You know what I mean? Because she's live and well, I'm live and well. But, you know, it's just things that has to be earned out that maybe she's just not ready to face yet. You know what I mean? And I have to accept that. You know, at first I used to try to force it. Being the oldest especially, it's like I fall right under her. You know what I mean? So I was more of the mom to everyone too, but I needed my mom. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, there's times where I needed it that I'm giving away to everybody else, but nobody knows what I'm battling.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get that.
But, you know, it's a void still because things come up in your life where you feel like, you know, I've got a lot of relationships with, you know, people's moms, you know, my friends' moms and everything. And, you know, you look at it and it's like, wow, you know, my aunt asked me, you know, God forbid, you know, anything happen. I don't feel like, you know, it's going to kill me. It's my mom or it's my dad, you know what I mean? But I just pray that void is filled before if it ever get there, you know what I mean? Because the feeling might be a little different, you know what I mean? And it's only because I'm human. You know, it's hard for us to say we fully feel that love and that affection from a person that's always been distant. You know what I mean? So that caused me with abandonment issues or letting people get close to me because I just felt like they were going to leave.
Right.
You know, because I was just waiting for them. Like you said, you sitting on the porch and you wait, you just wait and wait and wait. But, you know, sometimes people are ready to face things and sometimes people are not. Right. I felt like my dad, he was ready. And it took me to maybe see his baby girl behind that glass. And it was like he felt like he felt me. You know what I mean?
So speaking of that glass, you said you did how long in prison?
2 years.
2 years. So without going in depth or anything like that, I would like to know, what was your top 3 things that them 2 years in prison taught you about you and about life?
So we need some paper.
Top 3.
Pen and paper.
Top 3.
Go with one.
Yeah,
what's one?
Well,
The first one, it would be patience.
Okay.
Wow.
The second one would be self. I really learned who I was.
Okay.
I faced myself in the mirror. I had to.
That's scary, ain't it?
It's beyond scary.
It's scary. And it's
Ugly.
hard, it's ugly, but it's so necessary.
Yeah.
I always say I just feel like until every human being on earth go through that process, they're not going to fully love or have a great relationship. And because I just feel like once you really figure, and I'm still figuring myself out.
And you ain't talking about going through the prison process. You're going through the self-analyzation process.
Introspection.
Yeah, the introspection.
Take
Right.
that internal battle.
You have to.
Without
You know
doubt.
what I mean? And it's a part of growth.
Yeah.
You know, and I always say I was happy I went. You know, I didn't understand it at first, but yeah, prison saved my life. It was the best thing that could happen to me, for real. You know,
Okay.
now that I look back, because I was a lost girl. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know.
That show up in a lot of ugly ways, I can
A
imagine.
whole lot of ugly ways. And I had this picture painted of me, and it wasn't even me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I had this image of me because I live in that street life. You got to gain respect. You have to, you know, show them you not the one to be played with. But that wasn't really who I was. You know what I mean? I was just rebellious as hell because I wanted my parents.
So we never, at least I don't, let me say that. I never look at girls ego-driven the way boys are, right? And for boys in the streets, it's about ego. It's about respect, right? Because you can't hurt our ego. You can't, so it was like that with you too? It was like that, like with girls or with men that you felt like you had to be like that? Well, I know it was girls too because I done heard stories about you.
But I see what you're saying, though.
You see what I'm
asking,
saying?
Like, was it like you had to prove yourself to men because you were a female in the streets?
Right.
With a child.
Okay.
I was with a child that I had to prove that I ain't need no man. I ain't need. I'm gonna figure it out. It's my child. You know what I mean? And whatever it took. And then my friends were guys, so I didn't have too many female friends. So being around nothing but guys, you know, they my bros. But at the same time, I want them to know that I wanted to gain that trust with them to let them know that sis right here. You know what I mean? But
going harder than the dudes sometimes.
and and it showed me it showed a lot about myself that I didn't know about myself. You know what I mean? That you was a little firecracker, and you know that wasn't who I wanted to be, but it just grew to be that. You know?
So you just said something that I'm gonna use to segue, but I want to make sure before we wrap up that everything you got going on we could talk about, right? But you talked about always being around guys. So we're gonna use that to segue into, you know, some of these different topics, right? The first one I have in B.
You already ready?
Jump in whenever, right?
Hey,
but
you been plotting this.
look,
Y'all better back me up. I got y'all though.
look. No, the first one I want to know is, God dang it, y'all made me forget.
My fault.
The first one I want to know is, they always say that we have to have better relationships between black men and black women, right? But then when you have those type of relationships that has zero to do with sex, everyone wants to make it a sexual relationship.
The females, you saying?
Yeah. So, you know, you always hear brothers and sisters got to have better relationships with each other that don't involve sleeping with each other. But when you see that between people always say, oh, they screwing, right? Why is that? And why is that in your opinion?
We're going through that all my life. I don't know. I just got to go back to women just not secure in who they are. You know what I mean? And
But it ain't just sisters. Because you know I got some stuff. Because guys do it too, though.
It ain't just black and white. I mean, it ain't
that's
just a black thing. That's what I'm saying.
True.
Yeah,
but it hurts us more, though.
But
I agree.
I just feel like you just got to be secure in who you are. Like you just I mean, a person gonna do what they want to do regardless of what. But you don't have to. I don't feel like, oh, because I see a person with some, maybe because that's how I grew up. You know what I mean? So if I'm like dating a guy or, you know, talking to a guy and he has a lot of women friends, you know, I don't really, unless you give me a reason to think that. But I won't, off the top of my head, that would never be the first thing.
Now, let me stop you real quick, because I remember my question. That wasn't my question, but I remember when you just said it. Right, but that wasn't my original question. Remember I said I forgot, right? Yeah. My original question was, why do you always hear females say, I don't have a lot of female friends, I only got guy friends?
Gotcha.
I never knew that was so common.
Extreme.
Very common.
Very common.
I always thought it was just me. I did, you know, because I didn't see that a lot growing up, besides with me and a couple of other girls, but...
Maybe it's grown, though. Maybe it wasn't like that then. And maybe it's changed.
It's changed.
Maybe it's changing.
Yeah.
Or was it like that?
It was.
I don't know.
I've always heard that. Like, I don't got a lot of friends. Now, mind you,
guys are cooler. They just more cooler. They got, you know, guys just. My preference. I just like to be around guys because it's just smooth. You know what I mean?
It ain't a whole lot of emotional.
Catty.
Is it a lot of competition amongst females?
I'm not that female that be on that type of time.
So, is it a lot of competition amongst females?
Between females? That's what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Is it you don't like to be around a lot of females because it's always
no, not competition at all. It's just, well, maybe it would be with the person. It wouldn't be with me.
I got you.
Know what I mean?
Right.
Like my friend, I've always had genuine friends. The real ones I did have, you know what I mean? But I have been real genuine to a lot of people that didn't appreciate it or, you know, crossed me. They might have had something against me. I never grew up jealous. You know what I mean? My grandmother, that's one thing she installed in us, to always know no one's no competition. You know what I mean? No one is never competition since I was a young girl. So I was never, even then when I got cheated on, it was like, oh, you know, what do I don't got or nothing. It was just, you know.
But I used to, I heard it a lot.
I hear a lot of my homies tell me that too, though.
Yeah, so it ain't, I'm telling you, and maybe, so this in the context in which I heard it a lot, right? In the joint. Like, say, me and you in the joint, we done kicked it, we got a friendship, we work out together, boo, right? And I know you got a girl. So, you know, in the joint, dudes is always looking for some companionship. So I'm like, B, man, ask your girl to, you know, hook me up. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, she gonna be like, I ain't got no girlfriends. Yeah.
Daddy is our favorite line.
That's the favorite line, right?
I do hear that. That's just because with that question like that.
And so, it started there, but coming home, it's been like pretty much almost. But you see these girls, they take these girl trips, they do all of this stuff. But it's like, I don't hang with no girls. Girls is catty. Girls is this. Girls is that. And I'm like.
She laughing like it's true.
Because I see it all the time. Y'all really never had like real, you know what I'm saying? Coming up, I had a couple good friends, you know what I mean? But I never really, I had my sister though. I think that was what it was, you know what I mean? Maybe if I didn't, me and her, you know, I didn't have my sister, it would have been different. I looked at things different, but it was like, if we stopped being friends, we just stopped being friends. You know what I mean?
Okay, so B, you're not going to be quiet over here on the side, man.
Nothing came up that made me want to speak it ain't really got there yet.
Why your generation, because you're younger than me, y'all actually in the same generation.
I'm 35.
Right. So why do the females in your generation measure a dude so much by his financial status and have such an unwillingness to help him change that financial status?
I can't really speak. I feel like they done been through something. You know what I mean? They done been through something. Because, I mean, all women ain't looking for, first of all, I just feel like you shouldn't want to be in any partnership or any type of ship if you're not trying to help that next person, and vice versa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I don't feel like that should be the main goal. He got to have this in his bank account, or he, you know what I mean?
So do you think that mentality is the rule or the exception to the rule? Because all I hear and see is if a dude ain't got the bag.
No. Today it's I
Yeah,
can't
it's different
speak
now.
for today.
It's different now.
Everything is about the bag.
It's different. But
So it's like it's different now. You know what I mean? But I stand on different things. So it's like what I see today, yeah. But it's these young girls, they don't even know you got the potential to go get your own bag. You know what I mean?
one thing I learned,
Go ahead,
I
go
think I
ahead.
said this in a podcast one of our episodes a while back. I heard it on the radio one time. This lady was saying how she chooses her man. Like when she knows she got a good one or if she doesn't. She said, for a man, you make all your mistakes in your 20s.
I've heard something like
You
that
fix
before.
your mistakes
Your 30s.
in your 30s. And then your 40s, you should be in a pretty good place.
Right.
So if you run into a man that's in his 40s, still fixing mistakes that he made in his 20s, that's a problem. You
Well,
follow
see,
what
I'm
I'm
an
saying?
exception to the rule.
Well,
I
you
was locked up
different.
so
I mean,
long.
your situation different.
Right? But, what I'm saying, but that makes sense.
It
That makes sense.
It put it in perspective for
That
me.
makes sense.
I'm like,
But I
makes sense.
wonder, is that why a lot of young girls like older dudes?
Because I believe so. Because you got to think, they ain't got a dad at home.
Okay, that's the foundation right
That's the
there.
foundation.
That's the foundation
Well,
right
women
there.
women mature way faster than guys.
That's
so
true, too.
Yes, they do.
That's why
That's
I
true,
think
too.
you see a lot of
Every
young girls with older guys.
wants their dad. I don't
You really
care.
believe that?
I truly believe that.
Okay.
Every
They're
girl,
seeking the
that-
love of the
What
father.
is that? Daddy's girl and all that. I believe that's really powerful. It's real. It's
I
just
believe it.
we grew up broken. You know what I mean? Our culture just itself is just we not supposed to have two parents in the home. You know what I
Right.
mean? We that's not even normal for us. But if that was normal for us, yeah, it'd be different.
So how do you feel? So how do you view the relationship between black men and black women right now?
Toxic.
Why?
The internet.
I agree to a point. I feel like black love is getting a little stronger though.
I agree.
Okay.
I feel like it's being pushed more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You see black fathers being involved in their children's lives a lot more.
I'm seeing
you
that. I
see
love to see
people
that,
pushing
yeah.
like getting married, like I feel like I'm seeing, maybe it's because I'm getting older. I don't know, maybe. But but it does seem like even for people behind me, younger than me, it seems like they bought
they're
into
taking the
it
initiative
a little
too.
more. And they're a little more selective as to who they bring into their lives. And I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? I feel like a woman should be selective. You can't just let any
A man too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because there's some crazy chicks out here.
I
lot of them.
always said that I don't understand why men just spread themselves so thin like they do.
But so maybe I'm
It's a
just
hunger.
cynical. Well, I don't know what
That's
it's
why
hunger.
y'all
It's a
know
hunger.
y'all
It's a hunger for me.
Y'all don't think. Y'all not programmed.
We're not
to
programmed like
think
that.
yeah.
Y'all have to be here really
But
to
that's
be
when you have to rise up and know
Right.
you are a king, and you
Right,
can't
for
just
sure.
give yourself to anybody.
Yeah,
right.
that's
Well,
true.
we sometimes we ain't ready to be kings. We just want to be
So when is
savages.
that time?
So I mean, it's just different for individuals. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm in savage mode right now, right?
But sometimes man savage mode lasts forever. Now, when do you get out of the savage mode for men? Because I know all age brackets, and I'm like, dude,
Sometimes it don't stop.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it doesn't stop, man.
Sometimes it don't stop.
Ring
I know
or not,
dudes
some people still get
60
on.
something years old just got a 2-year-old.
When is the age that men get it out their system that they can just be with one woman?
That varies. Now,
It's not an age.
It's not an age.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
When-
and I'm gonna
when
tell you
is
something.
that?
But hold on. Look. I'm about to get in trouble. If I ain't being honest,
Okay.
if I'm being honest,
And don't be out here like Steve Harvey, man. Start giving up all the play.
no, I ain't about to get up off the plate. But if I'm being honest, excluding my dude B, because he all the way in love with his wife.
He's married. Absolutely.
Bro.
Every man except my dude B. This is only my opinion. I don't speak for every black man. Let me say that, right? Chooses to be with one woman, not necessarily because he wants to, but because he feel he has to.
That's being pressured. That's not.
Why
But
do
it
you-
don't have to necessarily be bad pressure. I ain't saying it ain't good for him. But I'm saying if we talking about the nature, if we talking about the nature of a man, is not just to be with one woman. That's just if we being honest. Now, because we're not savages, because we're not animals, we have the capacity to rise above our lower nature, right? And make intellectual and not emotional decisions. This one is best for me. She helps me move from A to B. She makes me X, Y, and Z. But And so because of that, I'm choosing to every day wake up and only be with her.
When you say have to, you mean because you're being pressured by the woman? Is that what you're saying?
No, you could be pressured by society because in our society, it's a one man, one woman society. And in truth,
on the surface level.
On the surface level. But in truth, in the world society, that's a minority mentality, right? But because we're a Christian country, really, we're indoctrinated with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's no good to that, but I'm saying if we're just living by our nature, our nature is to populate the earth. That's what our nature is. That's why a man can have babies at 60, 70 years old, right? That's our nature. But we are able to rise above our nature and use our common sense and rationale and intellect. That's how we subdue the earth. That's why God put us in control of the earth, because we can outthink these animals to conquer these animals, right? So we not like it, but our primitive nature is animal. You know that we talk about pheromones or hormones. That's primitive.
And our primitive nature as men is just to be with men.
Is to hunt and conquer.
So do you guys feel that having multiple women is like the polygamy and all of that? Is that like normal for men? It's just some judge, some don't.
I wouldn't say it's normal. Probably isn't a good word.
Right.
Because
I don't think every man could juggle a few different women though. Like even if you are living in a polygamous relationship, I don't know how successful it would be for every man. Right. That takes a lot.
That takes a lot.
You know what I mean? We done been at the place where you didn't juggle for a little while. That gets stressful. Now imagine doing that every day going home.
Every day. But see, the thing is this though. The thing is this. It's stressful because, if I'm being honest, it's stressful because we're doing it the wrong way. Right? We trying to be conniving. We trying to sneak and all this old stuff.
Everybody was on one accord.
Then that's going to show up different. Whether you agree with it or not, it's going to show up different than me got 3 chicks over here and they don't know about each other, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to spend time with her this day, but she want to spend it tomorrow, and that's different.
But some females know. I know guys or personal experiences when every girl might know you got 5 other females, but it's still gonna come to that place.
It's like what y'all got going on.
You maybe act like it's understood, but it's not gonna matter. At one point or another, this one's gonna get jealous of that one, or you spending more time with her than you spending with me. You're gonna deal with an issue.
And so, I agree with that. So if we talking about doing it in, I don't want to say the right way, but the most harmonious way, I can't move on that unless I got the consent of who else I'm dealing with, to eliminate all of that other stuff. Right. Even though it still might pop up because we're dealing with women and their nature is to be emotional. That's why they're the best caregivers, right? But it's a way that you minimize that. But then even with that, it's how do you make sure you can treat them equally? That's virtually impossible.
Yeah, no, that's why I said it has to be. I couldn't do it, but everybody can be just on one accord. I done spoke with a woman and say, I think I can do it. You know what I mean? And I feel like if they got that, everybody is vibing and everybody got that chemistry with the women, I feel like they will be able to please the man, and he will be able to please them because the woman has to just lead, period. You know what I mean? To make a man be like, okay, they with it. You know what I mean? Because y'all gonna be on edge, like, what is this really real? You know what I mean? So I feel like once they make their man secure, I feel like it will be cool. It could work. I feel like anything could work if you want it.
I'm gonna say
polygamy, or you saying monogamy? Which one are you discussing?
I don't even know the difference of them.
A dude having multiple women.
Me and one woman. Polygamy is me and 3 women.
You are where I'm at. Okay. I'm just the one with the 3 women.
With 3 women.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm a Leo though.
But I'm gonna say this though.
I can't.
And I'm gonna say this from what I've seen. Let me just say from what I've seen, right? If a dude bag big enough,
here goes his bag.
Okay, so tell me if I'm wrong. If a dude bag, hold on now, you ain't finished. Let me finish my thing. If a dude's bag is big enough, he can have multiple who know about each other and they're gonna accept it.
To a certain extent, though, that's gonna get played out.
By who? Him or by them? I mean, with him or with them?
First of all, he gonna get tired of taking care of all them women. Depends
on the size of his bag.
Well, I mean, like I said, once again, if everybody on the same accord, nobody's nagging, as y'all say.
No, but I ain't even know. I'm not even talking. Yeah, I'm talking about it, and they know it. But to B's point, and I believe this wholeheartedly.
If you believe if he giving them, breaking them off, ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
I know they might have attitudes, but they ain't going nowhere.
I believe that
right?
too.
But I also believe this. Now, what y'all think about this? So we always openly dog the cheater. Dog the dude who cheating, who got the multiple chicks and stuff, right? But, and you said it, this was made to trigger it. You have women who know, but act as if they don't know until somebody put it on their plate. Now they got to act like, I can't believe he did this to me. But you know he got multiples going on. You just, it ain't in my face, so I ain't going to acknowledge it.
That's because she ain't being real with herself.
Right, okay, so that's a lot though. Would y'all agree? That happens a lot.
I think that happens a lot.
That happens a lot.
Both sides.
But so indirectly you accepting a polygamous relationship. Yeah. But if I bring it and put it on the table, you offended.
Yeah, me and my sister had a conversation like this before. And that's really real though. But that is, like I said, she has to look in that mirror and be real with herself and know her worth. You don't got to sit around because he taking care of everything you need to take care of and put money in your pocket or putting you on shopping sprees. You content and cool with it, but deep down inside, that's not what you really want. So you're just literally making yourself miserable because you want to keep up this image. That's not going to last forever.
Okay, so let me ask this. So in the black, I'm in the black community. Let me set the parameters.
Right.
Let me set the parameters, right? Women are always going to outnumber men.
Pertaining to.
Right? You can argue that in general, because we kill each other in war and all that. Like, women going to always outnumber men. Depending on the city you go in, it might be 10 women to one man, like, right? So if everyone has a right to have love and a relationship and that all that, right? How does that work? How does that mathematically work if a dude is only with one woman? I'm just posing the question. If a dude is only with one woman, that means it's 5 or 6 of these sisters that you say you love to death and you want them to have what you have.
They never can.
They never can.
Men to keep up with it.
Why? First of all, why is you loving all these women? Like
no, I'm just he ain't. But I'm saying I'm saying if as a woman you say, like I tell B, I want B to have everything that I have, right? Because I love him. That's my brother. I want to have everything I have. Women say that all the time too, right? We say the same thing, right? But when it comes to relationships, I'm saying if we saying we only supposed to be one man, one woman, and I'm just posing this question, so don't chop my head down. I'm posing the question. If we say one man, one woman, if you love me, I only want to be with you. You only want to be with me, right? But the numbers say that means there's a lot of sisters who ain't about to have no man. What are they supposed to do?
Because the number
you with one person?
No, he's saying the ratio of men and women is flawed. You know what I mean? Right. There are more available women than there are available men. Okay. Whether it's black men that are locked up, whether it's black men that are already married and taken, whatever the case. There's more women that are available and single than there are men. So if I'm this man, I'm only meant to be with one person. What about these other 4?
What about the other 4 women?
Yeah, because all the other men are taken. So you only got one guy, but you got 5 available women.
So what y'all saying is the 5 available women supposed to just settle for him?
You saying settle. You saying settle. Why would that be settling, right? But why would
you can't just say it's because it's a shortage on man, basically.
Yeah.
Who's to say? You can't just say that they're not going to never be with them.
Ain't nobody said never, but why should they have to wait indefinitely to hope that somebody become available?
I don't know.
I'm just posing the question. To have children. What if she's in her 20s, 30s, she want to have a child, right? The numbers, if we just going strictly by the numbers.
I think it goes back to what he said, 20s, 30s, 40s. Because you got to go through, you jumping in a relationship and you don't even know who you are. So it's like, I don't feel like, first of all, you shouldn't be jumping into nothing in your 20s, and I had to learn that. I think you just got to go through something first. Go through life, go do different things to figure out what you want. What does this man or what does this woman look like to you? You know what I mean? And I'm speaking from experience because I'm looking for him.
I think,
So what if that?
I think
So what
getting
if?
married in your 20s is a bad idea.
It's a bad idea, and even
I
me
think it's a
now,
bad-
you know.
Well, why do y'all think it's a bad idea?
Because
No, I ain't gonna say a bad idea. It's whatever you choose, but I just feel like it's not gonna. Unless y'all gonna
be
stick
ready,
it
y'all gonna
out.
learn through it. Y'all
But
gonna go through some things together.
But
So
then-
what's wrong with that?
It's not
No, it's
wrong.
not.
with it,
In our
but I'm
culture,
just
that's
saying,
what
but
we
it's
did.
gonna
But you
get-
gotta think, our parents, our grandparents, they was together 20+ years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They stuck it out.
Right. See, that's what we don't got. We don't got
People
to
don't
stick.
stick it out.
We don't
We
got
don't
to
got
stick.
that.
No,
We
nobody's
don't got
sticking
it.
it out.
To stick it out.
It's
We
like-
leave when it get rough.
But
Yeah.
right, but and I'll say this though, because the flip side to that is, I remember I was seeing a sister. She was a CO. Don't judge me.
We ain't gonna tell
Right?
nobody.
She was a CO.
He did it
and right, thank you. And we was into each other.
Yeah.
And then I went to the pro board and they gave me 5 years. And we was nowhere into each other. But she told me, she said, look, as much as I care for you and love you, I don't owe you my happiness.
And she supposed to choose her first.
Right?
Wow.
So with that being said, why stick in a situation that you're miserable in when life is short and I deserve to be happy? Now watch this. What if my happy happens to be with somebody who is dealing with somebody else?
If that's what your happiness look like to you, more power to you.
Okay, I'm just
You know,
asking.
people
But we
judge-
frown on that. We frown on that, though.
And that's the thing. People judge.
Can't satisfy
what they
everybody,
feel.
huh?
Yeah, it just feel like, oh, that don't look right, or that ain't right. You know, love is love. My grandmother grew me up on love.
Right.
It might look crazy to you, but this is my truth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is my love. So I don't got no problem. I feel like if that's what you want to do, if that's truly what makes you happy, don't be doing it just to, because you're not complete. You have to
Right.
be complete, and that's really happy. If this person was to walk out your life tomorrow, you will still be able to go to sleep at night happy. You know what I mean?
I respect that.
That's where it needs
a lot
to
of
be.
sense.
I
You know
respect
what I
that.
mean?
Top 3 things you can give a young lady right now. Matter of fact, your 15-year-old self, you'll tell her what right now based on your journey?
My 15-year-old self, I would say,
If you was real dope, you would tie Melanin Magic into it.
Yeah,
If you was really cold.
say, don't fear. You have no reason to fear.
That's a good one. That's a big one.
Love. Continue to love. I always loved. I felt like it wasn't right. So I just feel like telling my younger self, I'm proud of you for never just stop having love in your heart.
That's heavy too.
Right on. Despite it all.
Despite it all.
Yeah.
And I will tell her, I'm proud of her for thinking first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had a bad habit of that. Didn't use my brain at all.
Straight go time.
Go with that. So I was very proud of that. You know,
That's cool.
when you sit back and think, it's better anyway.
So you've come a long way since you've come home.
Absolutely.
And you got a lot of stuff going on. You talked a little bit about Melanin Magic that you got going on with your sister,
Yeah,
right?
Our nonprofit, Walking in My Truth.
Walking in your truth.
My sister just, if you're familiar with Beats Boutique, it is revamped to Melanin Magic, which is I would say like a social movement HUD program to create your own world.
What kind of stuff y'all do?
Except vendors. Basically, you come in there, if you want to start your own business, that's the place to be. It's just to create what do you feel like your world looks like to you.
So you guys are kind of like creating your own version of an incubator in a sense.
Absolutely.
Like people can come in there with their own small business, get guidance on
On
how
top
that
of-
business should run.
Get resources.
Okay.
Like, you know, like just a community HUD that we need before on a business perspective.
Where's the building located?
6418 Market Street.
Okay.
If you're familiar with Beats Boutique, it's the same location, right across from not Beagley, it used to be Beagley. Well, Beagley's there too, Akron Children Hospital, right across the street in that plaza.
So what's the process? I got a small business. You know, I'm just getting rolling, and I'm looking for some help. Like, what should I do to get in contact with you guys? How does it work?
Facebook, we're on all social, Facebook, Instagram. We have a creative space in the back. We do podcasting back there. And you know, we'll sit down and, you know, just teach you the things that you need to learn for your business and what you're trying to create.
Is there like a bare minimum of what I need to come in with? Do I need to come with a business plan? Like, what is it that I need? Or can I just come in there with just an idea?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, completely.
I'm gonna speak for Brittany.
Okay.
Come in with a vision.
With a vision. Okay.
Come in with a vision that makes sense.
All right.
So
it has to make sense.
Gotcha.
real quick, we only got a couple more minutes. You got a podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
Everybody know, well, if you don't know, I'm with United Returning Citizens. I do my
URC.
podcastings on Tuesdays, called Conscious Conversations.
All right.
Still getting over this camera shyness. It's my first time.
I don't know how you ain't been over it because I throw her in front of a camera all the time.
I'm
like,
getting there.
Yeah, you were comfortable today, though.
Yeah,
you were yourself today.
I'm podcasting and I'm just on there, just talking about things that, maybe people just scared to talk about or want to talk about or don't got an outlet to talk about it. It's a no judge zone. And, we just get things off our chest.
Right.
beautiful.
Talk about what we're doing.
So I appreciate you.
I appreciate
I appreciate you.
Yeah, it was
I think it's going to have some. I can't wait to see the comments and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it was a good time,
I can't
man.
wait. B, before we go, we got 2 minutes left, man. What you got going on, man? I know you got some stuff going on.
Man.
Put it out there.
Man, it's a lot. A lot has changed over the last 30,
I know, right?
30
I
to
know.
45 days.
That's a whole nother. I need
that's
to
another
interview
conversation
one-on-one
for
on the
another
podcast. For real.
I'm figuring out day by day, man. I'm tapping into my entrepreneurial spirits.
Okay.
I'll put it that way.
That's
You
beautiful.
know what I mean? Without putting out too much. I'm starting to figure out that it's you can manifest things on your own. You
Right.
know, and sometimes you got to get pushed off the ledge
Because you won't jump.
to do it. You know what I'm saying? In order for yourself to learn how to swim, you got to jump in the water.
That's how I learned.
You know
I
what
just
mean?
jumped in there.
That's the only way to do it.
I swear, that's how I learned. I just jumped in there.
So that's kind of where I am right now, man. Obviously family life is amazing, but
How
on
the
a
baby?
more personal thing, the entrepreneurial spirit is burning. Let's say that much.
That's the spirit we supposed to have.
Yeah, it's burning.
I
And you
believe-
can start creating
I-
many ideas where your mind goes, takes you to so many
Yeah.
places, man, and just more and more comes, more and more happens. You just get all these things that just become confirmation, and that just continues to push you forward. Man. So that's the exciting thing about it.
That's why I said no
That's
fear.
beautiful.
It's,
No fear.
It's just made up.
Yeah.
Once I realized that, because like he said, once we create, we really dope.
We really are.
You know what I mean?
We really are. We don't let
Like
nobody,
it.
Yes,
nobody
it
confine
ain't
us
nothing
today.
like us.
We really are.
We sit down and just really, put our minds to some stuff.
I'm gonna say the biggest thing. Sorry to cut you
Go ahead,
off.
go
Sean.
ahead.
The biggest thing you said today, though, I didn't know that you guys had walking in your truth. Truth is everything.
Yeah.
You have to be true with yourself. Talking about looking in the mirror, that's why it's so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got to face that truth. But then when you start bringing it to the table, when you start talking to other people, you peel back layers. Before you know it, you guys are able to talk and discuss, and it flows without any problems.
Absolutely.
So that's why a conversation like this can go the way that it did.
Yeah.
It's nothing but truth being spoken here.
I love
That's
that.
why I got great relationships with anybody that tell you. It kind of always get deep with me when I'm having a conversation. It's like, oh, here we go with therapy. But, because like you said, let's peel back the layers.
What we talking about?
Yeah, what is
Right.
it? It gotta
We
make
ain't trying to
sense.
grow.
I don't want to sit here. What we talk about?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because
Well,
maybe
look,
I can help
you got
you
time
and
to
you
waste
can
time.
help me. You know what I mean?
Before we go, I got 2 things, right? Everybody know, please listen to me. Tomorrow is voting day.
Vote.
If you haven't already
I would
voted,
vote,
You
guys.
got until 7:30
Please.
today, right?
no,
Early
tomorrow,
voting?
tomorrow,
Early
tomorrow.
voting?
Early voting, yeah.
Yeah, you can early vote. I think
you can early
today.
vote.
I think it's still open. I could be wrong.
If you don't make it, if you haven't made it yet, please, man, get out and vote. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that's going to affect black and brown people, man. It can affect us in a negative way. God willing, it affects us in a positive way. But if you don't vote, let me say this, and I had to learn this. If you don't vote, it's like you voting, but it's like you voting against yourself. Promise you that. I remember
learned
that.
too.
They not playing when they doing the red lining and the gerrymandering. All of that stuff is real, man. Please go out, make your vote count. I want to say that.
If you don't vote, don't complain.
If you don't vote,
That's it.
don't cry.
And
Period.
I learned. I used to be like, I'm not voting. It don't matter, but our votes really matter.
If it didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to not let us.
So,
The last
it ain't
thing,
taking no time. Just go vote.
the last thing is, y'all know I haven't said nothing, but my big Christmas event is coming up December 21st. I got a Toy Box and Imaginations on Hillman Way. I'm gonna come out with another flyer, but I got the Toy Box and Imagination at Tina Practice Shop. I got a Toy Box in Southern Park Mall at Excalibur. I got a Toy Box at Cherie Redding's Lux and Hair and Nail Salon, and I got a Toy Box in Empire Cuts on Market Street. If y'all can't find me or get it to me, y'all can drop it off there. The deadline is December 14th. I'm trying to make it as bigger than it has been the last couple years. It's for the whole city. It ain't for no one side of town. It's dope that I'm able to share it with BBC Barber School. We're gonna have the barbers already on deck. Tracy Will's gonna DJ. We're gonna have food for the kids, face painting, and a gang of toys, man, for them to come get. So please be a part of it in any way you can. Donate anything you can. Everything matters. But December 14th is the cutoff. I'm already about to start. I feel it feels so good to just be able to go buy stuff for kids. Hey, remember when we went about the stove tour? We went to backpack real quick. We went about the backpack stuff for the kids, right? And we just take it all off the shelf.
Yeah.
Man, we went up to that cash register. That dude looking at us like, man.
Bought everything.
I love shopping for the little. My son, he a teenager now. He a grown boy. So
Yeah.
I feel good shopping for the little kids.
For real.
And I have a woman empowerment down at the Oak Hill Collab, December 11th.
December 11th.
Called Sip, Paint, and Compensate.
Say it again.
Sip, Paint, and Compensate.
There you go. Hey, we appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Shout out to Kiki for showing up and hanging out with us. And we'll see y'all in 2 weeks, man, with another Pros and Cons podcast.
Peace.
Peace.